Scene 1 or 2 Scammers cheat a person. Have you ever seen dozens of senior professional crooks team up to cheat a person? The story takes place in 1936 in the United States during the Great Depression, although the economy was not very good at this time, but the casino business is still very prosperous. The horseboy is responsible for sending the casino's revenue to the headquarters, and just as soon as he leaves the house, he runs into the old man, who shouts to catch the thief. The horseboy, in order not to cause trouble, panicked and hid to the side, then let a young man throw a box to put down the thief. The thief got up and then rushed away. The old man found $5,000 are not missing. He needs to send the money to the designated place before 4 o'clock, otherwise he would be dead. But now he has a serious leg injury and can't walk. Young man, you go to help me to send it. Are you serious, Papa? That thief may be where to block me. I do not want to take the risk. The old man could only ask for help from the horseboy, and was willing to pay $100. Horseboy picked up the money to leave. You just take the money to go. Are you not afraid of the thief? Come, I'll teach you how to hide the money. While talking, the young man took out a handkerchief, wrapped the money in it, and let the horseboy take his money out. See, put here absolutely safe. He stuffed it into the crotch of the horseboy, who covered his crotch and ran out. After getting into a taxi, he laughed happily, because he had no intention of sending money for the old man. But when he opened the handkerchief, he was dumbfounded. It had been replaced with toilet paper. On the other hand, the young man was counting the money with the old man. In fact, the old man, the young man and the thief were in a group, and they didn't expect a total of more than $10,000, which was definitely a huge sum of money in 1936. The young began to flaunt around, not only bought a designer suit, but also took his girlfriend to the casino to dazzle, did not expect to lose a handful of more than $3,000. His girlfriend also turned away in anger. The old man was very worried when he learned that spending money so shamelessly would certainly attract attention. The young man was attacked by the fat police on his way home. I know you cheated the gang more than $10,000. Give me $2,000 hush money, or I will go to inform the gang. Moving the gang's money only lead to death. But the young man didn't have so many money. He can only 2 pieces of fake money to send off the fat police. Even the most closed-minded police know that this matter is certainly not concealed. He rushed to call the old man's home, but there's no one answered. When the young man arrived at the old man's house, he found that the old man had been killed by the gang. The old man was his master and had always treated him like his own son. The young man decided that he must take revenge for the old man. He found the old man's good friends Henry. Trying to mess with a gang's boss is not easy, but Henry is not an ordinary person. He went out to go around a few times. After a simple action, peers know that there is a big order to come. Soon, a small team was formed. We must find out the other side's weakness to let the other side cheated. The information in their hands showed that the boss came from the slums, but told others that he came from high society, indicating that he had a high self-esteem. In order to get to the top, he always learns from the other people first, and then takes his place after finding an opportunity to kill him, indicating that he will do anything to achieve his goal. He is usually very vindictive. He certainly will not let go of the young man. He does not smoke and drink. He is not horny. He at most play cards, and only on the train to play. That can only take this as a breakthrough in general. People who like to play cards like to gamble on horses. Henry intends to engage in a gambling stable to set up the boss. These crooks are going to set a gang's boss up. Let's see how it works. Henry and the young man arrive at the boss's train and first have someone steal the boss's wallet, which contains roughly $15,000 in cash. Henry pretended to be the owner of a gambling stable and was late for the game by pretending to drink, which made the boss very impatient. At the gambling table, Henry played and drank, and after winning a few shots, he even said that only a brainless person would lose so badly. The boss was angry, proposed a 5-minute break. He asked his men to get a deck of cards with only 3 and 9. Under the covert operation of his men, the boss easily got 4 9s. After both sides put all their bets on, Henry, however, showed 4 11s and told the boss to hurry up and get his money out. This is when the black boss realized that his wallet was missing. You will not bet without money, right? This completely angered the boss. He knew that Henry cheated, but he could do nothing. Henry said, "Wait a minute, let the little brother go to his room to get." Then, the young man pretended to be Henry's little brother and came to the boss's room. "Your wallet is stolen by Henry. It was planned for 2 months to make you lose all your money and then strike. I have long been uncomfortable with his actions. If the 2 of us cooperate, I can take his place and you can earn millions." The boss said he wanted to send the young man back, but actually wanted to understand his information. Through some conversation he learned that the young man is the same as origin of the slums and to get to the top by any means necessary. The boss seems to see his younger self. When he got off the train, the young man told the boss that if he was interested, he would meet him tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. at the restaurant across the horse racing track. While Henry and the young man were on the train, Henry's good friend, White, was setting up the gambling casino, first renting a larger site and then recruiting 20 or so connoisseurs who were familiar with the rules of horse racing, and quickly setting up the place to look like a gambling casino. The next day, the boss came to the small restaurant as promised. The young man told him to wait after 2 o'clock and the phone would ring. The other side will tell you which horse will win, then you take the $2,000 to bet. You can test the truth of the news, but remember, after answering the phone you only have 4 minutes. After saying that, the young man left. At 2 o'clock, the phone did ring. The black boss remembered the horse's name and came to the gambling stable with $2,000, where it looks very professional. Henry deliberately came out to strike up a conversation. The man who gambled without money came. The boss bet on the horse. Without any accident, he won $16,000 at a time. Henry pretended to be very upset, nagging a few words. In the evening the young man was invited to the black boss's mansion. "Young man, what great inside information. You honestly tell me, are you using the time difference?" "I'll tell you the truth, I have a partner in the telegraph company. The national horse racing information will first pass through his hands, and then to the various gambling stables. He only needs to tell me the results before telling the gambling stables. In this way, my information is absolutely foolproof." The young man wanted to let the boss bet $500,000. The boss is a cautious man, he hopes to meet the young man's partner tomorrow. It was definitely too late to build a telegraph room in a short time, so he had to find a way to borrow one. The young man just finished making a phone call, but he didn't expect the fat policeman to come over. The fat police found that all the bills the young man gave him were fake. The young man managed to get rid of the fat cop with his sensitive body. Henry was angry with the young man for not telling the truth. It is likely that because of the touch of the police stirring and let their plans all fall through. They must find a way to solve this matter. Come see how these two crooks borrowed the telegraph room for free. They dressed up as painters and waltzed into the telegraph company, saying they had received a list from headquarters to paint the supervisor's office. The supervisor saw the signature of his superior, and did not suspect, and left the office directly. White hurriedly closed the door, took off his work clothes, revealing a suit, and after replacing the photo on the table, sat down on the seat and pretended to be the supervisor. Then the young man brought the boss to the place. White said it was inconvenient here and take them out. The boss saw that the room was being painted and did not get suspicious. When White and the others left, the young man changed his picture, took his things and left the room. When the supervisor returned to the office, he saw the half-painted wall and was confused. Boss wanted to verify again, and White said that we were doing illegal things, and if we were caught, we would be finished for life, but the boss is not willing to so. "I have already known your inside story. If you don't do what I say, then you'll see." After saying that, the black boss raised his head and left. The FBI found the fat cop and hoped he could catch the young man, because they were going to use him to catch Henry. This time the boss intended to bet $15,000, but there was no more money here to pay him. After 2 o'clock, the black boss received the call. Then he came to the gambling casino. This time there are several people are in line, and by the time the line to the black boss can no longer bet. But the information is really not wrong. The boss told the young man that tomorrow he would bring $500,000. In the evening the young man just returned to his residence. He was caught by the fat police, then he was brought to the FBI. The FBI asked him to confess the news of Henry. The young man was reluctant. The FBI again took out the picture of the old man's wife. If he does not explain the news of Henry, they will let the old man's wife stay in the jail for a whole life. He was unwilling to see the old man's wife suffer and intended to cooperate with the FBI. He only had a small request to wait for the end of the scam before arresting anyone. The FBI agreed to the young man's request. The next day, the boss prepared $500,000 cash. At 2 o'clock, the phone rang on time. After knowing which horse to bet on, the boss went straight to the gambling stable. "I want to bet $500,000 on the little white dragon to win. The other people only bet a few bucks. Your bet is too big. I need to ask our boss." Then Henry came over. "You engage in such a large bet. Do you want to make me directly bankrupt?" The boss scolded Henry with excitement. "You are a liar, bastard." After the boss handed the money to the counter, he came to the seat to wait for the results. When White came from the door and said, "By the little white dragon second right," the boss was confused when he heard it. "Should I buy the first?" He could not remember whether what he heard was wrong, or what White said was wrong. He rushed to the counter to refund. "I do not play. Hurry up and give me back the money." This time a large number of FBI rushed in. All the people were stunned. The FBI went to the young man. "Good job, you can go now." Obviously, the young man betrayed Henry. Henry shot the young man and the FBI shot Henry and put him down. The boss saw it and rushed out. Compared to the loss of $500,000, his life is more important. When the boss ran away, the FBI came to the young man. "Stop pretending, he is far away. Now get up." Then the young man sat up and Henry also sat up. It is not expected that the FBI is also Henry's best friend pretending to be. They not only fooled the fat police around, but also successfully cheated the boss of 500,000. The young man finally avenged for the old man. At the same time, he also understood a truth.
You're right, Henry. It's not enough. It's close.
The next is how to divide the 500,000. The movie ends here. Do not underestimate this 500,000. This is the 1936 US Depression, when the revenue of several casinos a week only more than 10,000. It can be said to be a huge amount of money. Now subscribe me to see more interesting movie.